Okay. Hi, my name is Carrie Ann. I worked for the Office of Sustainability last semester. I wanted to take a couple moments and just tell y'all about how recycling on campus works because not something we usually talk about. This presentation is from last semester, so some of this obviously has changed as we are living in a different time right now. But it's still really important to understand how our recycling on campus works and why we recycle in general. Um, So skipping ahead some of these details, there we go. Recycling at BARD. It is a dual stream process, meaning there are two types of recycling we do. Um, Recycling happens in all residences, offices, and shared buildings and classrooms. It's always located in a central area, so it's easier to have one bin in the middle of Olin than it is to have like 6 bins on every floor. And we do not recycle in Klein because Klein does not produce any recyclable waste. And again, I know a lot of disposable food containers are being used this semester on account of COVID. So some of this is obviously subject to change, but in general, our recycling practices, I believe, are still the same. So recycling goes from your residence hall into a bag and then to the recycling yard. And a myth that the sustainability office hears all the time is that people see ES workers, environmental service workers, put the bag of, say, plastic recycling into the bag of paper recycling. And so they think it's not going to be recycled. What's actually happening is two separate small bags are being put into one larger bag in order to not have to carry 6 little bags, but just carry one large bag. So when you see an ES worker take the recycling bag and put it into a larger bag with other different types of trash, they're still going to sort it. When it gets to the recycle yard, it's still going to be separated. It's totally a myth that that's not going to be recycled. It's definitely going to be recycled. It's just a lot easier to carry one bag than a bunch of small ones. Um, Down here is an aerial view of the recycle yard. Our recycle yard is on campus. It is behind smog, and all of our recycling goes to the Ulster County Recycling plant, which is across the river. Like here in New York, we recycle right here in the state. We're not shipping our waste to some other crazy place. It happens all right here locally. So what do recyclables look like and where can we find them? Different locations on campus produce different types of waste, and being aware of what type of waste can be found in different spaces can help us know how to recycle it or not to. So for example, the campus center often has a lot of packaging, mail, cardboard, and books because that's where the post office and bookstore are. And we just changed our food carrier. So some of these items might look a little bit different now, but there's also usually a lot of food packaging items as well as drinks, cans, and bottles. Um, Essentially, most of these plastic containers are not recyclable. We're going to talk about that later, but all like cans, bottles, and drinks are definitely recyclable, and paper and mail is also definitely recyclable. Dorms obviously have a much larger span of items that you might find in a dorm because people are living there. And so dorms often create more waste and have more bins around if you look for them. Um, and yeah, and then classrooms and offices won't really have as much waste this semester because we're not supposed to be eating or drinking in them. And as I said before, Klein only has paper or paper items most often. Paper is when a paper cup is coated in a plastic coating, which is what makes it waterproof so it can hold liquid. And once a paper item has a plastic coat on it, it is no longer recyclable. So if you are ever handed a paper cup on campus, you cannot recycle it. It is not paper recycling. It is not plastic recycling. Unfortunately, it is landfill. Um, yeah, okay. So we have 6 different types of bins on campus, and I know that's a lot, but it's not as crazy as it seems. So there is a containers bin, which is this green labeled bin, and that holds plastic, glass, and metal. There's a paper bin, which sometimes are short bins, sometimes are tall bins, and they have a blue label on them. Regardless of what color or shape your bin is, you should always like read the label. If it is blue like this, it is paper. If it is green like this, it is plastic. Um, we also have an e-waste bin, which has a yellow label and can be found in the campus center. And then there is compost, free use, and landfill. Free use, I believe, is not accepting donations right now, but if there's something specific you're looking for from free use, you can email reduce@bard.edu and be like, hey, I really need some binders. And then one of the sustainability workers will leave a bag out for you with some binders on it. But as Lori posted in the Facebook group, don't take a bag that doesn't have your name on it, because that's just not cool. Cool. So let's look at the bins. So, okay, we're going to focus on recycling and trash because that's what I'm here to talk to you all about. So this bin, the containers bin, it says glass, cans, plastic, and bottles. And then it has images of glass bottles, metal cans, and plastic bottles and jugs. And on the bottom, it says, please recycle plastics 1, 2, 4, 5, and 7. So if you didn't know, plastics are all numbered, and the number tells recycling people like how many times this material has been recycled previously and what type of plastic it is. And if you want to find out what number the plastic you're holding is, you turn it upside down and you look for the triangle, and inside the triangle is a number. And now if that number is 1, 2, 4, 5, or 7, you can absolutely put it in this green containers bin. It is totally recyclable. So most often it's like those green tea bottles or cans or glass bottles or like other like food cans, just rinse out the food that was in there. So no food particles get into the recycling. Unconventional recyclables are shampoos, conditioners, and detergent containers are often all recyclables as well. Things that are not usually actually recyclable are some plastic containers. So the salad clamshells or like a wrap clamshell, you should really look at the number before you recycle it because it may or may not be one of these numbers. So salad clamshells might be a 6, and we personally cannot recycle number 6 plastics on campus. That's just how it is. That's just what Ulster County takes. And what else about plastics? Oh yeah, so if you put one item that is not a container into the container bin, pretty much the entire container bin is now considered contaminated. So if you put this one paper cup into the containers bin, it's not ES workers' job to go and pull out your paper cup. It's your job to sort your own trash. It's not ES workers' job to sort your trash. So once one piece is in there and it's contaminated, that whole bin might as well be landfill now, which sucks and is not cool, but it's literally not their job to sort your trash. It's yours. So be responsible and learn what goes in what bin so that doesn't happen and so that we can recycle as much stuff on campus as possible. The other bin I want to focus on is the mixed paper bin, which can take things like broken down cereal boxes, newspapers, mail, notebook paper, printer paper, etc. Try and pull out any staples, or if it's notebooks, pull out the metal binding spinny thing. If it is like a cereal box cardboard or box cardboard, you really, really, really need to break it down flat. When y'all just pile boxes on top of each other and they like stack up, it's like super annoying because again, it's not ES workers' job to manage your trash. It's their job to bring the trash to the recycle yard. So like they shouldn't be breaking down your boxes. You need to break down your boxes, and you can break the box down flat. It's not that hard, and then put the box next to the mixed paper bin. Not necessarily in it because it might not fit, but putting flattened boxes next to the bin is totally acceptable and a great thing to do. The landfill bin takes pretty much everything else, but I have a couple tricks for you about making sure it doesn't get overflowing. So I know this semester a lot of people are getting paper clamshells as walk-away food containers. A way to prevent the landfill from getting absolutely full of empty clamshells is to dump the food excess out of the clamshell and then leave it open, like next to the bin or on top of the bin or whatever. And then when the next person comes, they can also empty the food out of their clamshell and stack the clamshells into each other so that when they're closed, they're just like a big open space sitting in the landfill bin. But when you stack them into each other, they take up a lot less space. The landfill won't get overflowing as fast, and it'll kind of help with waste management. Also, if landfill does get overfill, you can always grab an extra bag. There are bags on the inside of the landfill or other containers. There are also often bags just kind of laying around next to the containers. I know like in Robbins, there's like a little shelf and there's always extra trash bags on the shelf. It's totally okay to start a new landfill bag if the landfill is full of trash. And it's way more acceptable to start a new landfill bag than it is to leave your trash sitting around the bins, outside of the bins, outside of any bags, because once again, it is not ES workers' job to sort your trash. It is your job. Make their lives easier. We love and appreciate our environmental service workers, and doing these things makes their lives like just a little bit easier, and that's nice. That's easy. Extra tip: if you got a lot of plastic bags, you can ball up your plastic bags, and when you go to Hannaford to get a snack, you can recycle a big ball of plastic bags. That's a recycling 101. If we ever reopen Free Use this year, Free Use doesn't take underwear, but they take boots, clothes, t-shirts, shorts, notebooks, lamps, pillows, maybe not pillows, but like comforters and stuff. So Free Use at the end of the semester usually will take all your good stuff that you can't bring home. And the last thing I want to say is e-waste. So in the campus center, there's an e-waste bin. I think there is also maybe one in New Robbins. They have a yellow sticker on them, and pretty much any electronic trash can go in them. So laptops, e-readers, tablets, phones that don't work. If they do work, reach out to like someone else and donate it so someone can use it. But if they don't work, e-waste is the place to go. Headphones, wires, chargers, anything broken, all of that can go in e-waste, and that's definitely on the second floor in the campus center. Last I saw it, it was like down the hall a little bit, but it's definitely in the campus center if you have e-waste. Okay, that's my little spiel for y'all. This goes more in depth. You can leave caps on your containers. Yeah, see these items might not be 1, 2, 4, 5, 7. Make sure you check your number. And yeah, if y'all have any questions, reach out to the Office of Sustainability, or you can comment on this video or post, and we'll try and answer your questions. But please consider doing proper like waste sorting and sorting your own trash, because that's your responsibility.